and welcome to episode 4 of Cariboo 40k, bringing you Warhammer 40k battle reports from the BC Interior, Canada. I'm Sean Porter, and once again, I'm joined by the very lovely Richard Butters.
Hello again.
For this semi-competitive game, I brought some Imperial Soup. This list is primarily Guard, however I did bring a few Imperial characters for support. At the forefront of my army, and leading a Spearhead detachment, I have Celestine and her Geminae. I recently sent them off to White Elf painting and they have returned just in time for this battle report. I'm very pleased by Jeremy's work, they are absolutely stunning. In a Spearhead elite slot, I have an Eversor Assassin. This will be the first time that I get to use Crazy Eddie, and I really hope he causes some havoc. Filling the 3 Spearhead heavy support slots, I have a unit of 2 Earthshaker artillery, a solo Earthshaker, and then a unit of 2 Wyverns. I then have a Battalion detachment which is led by Commissar Yarrick, who is my warlord for this game, and I have a company commander with a Boltgun. In the Battalion troop slots, I have 2 units of 20 Conscripts, and an infantry squad with a power sword on the sergeant, a Guardsman with a plasma gun, and a heavy weapon team with an autocannon. In a Battalion elite slot, I have a company command squad with 4 plasma guns. I'm only bringing a single dedicated transport, a Chimera with its stock loadout. To make this list extra spicy, I've brought an Air Wing detachment, which is comprised of an Avenger Strike Fighter, 2 Vultures with twin Punishers, and a Vendetta with 3 twin las cannons. Maneuvering the 4 flyers is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see how it goes. This list has a total of 8 command points and can deploy with a total of 12 drops. I think it's fairly competitive, it's not fully optimized, but it should be fun for the both of us.
Alright, so I have a Vanguard detachment again, because I still don't like taking troop choices. We have Commander Dante leading the host, paired with a Sanguinary Priest with a jump pack for the HQs. For elites, I have a squad of 5 Sanguinary Guard, 2 of them with Power Fists, 3 of them with swords. All of them have plasma pistols, as well as the Sanguinary Guard Ancient, also with a plasma pistol. I have a Death Company Dreadnought with Blood Talons, a Melt-A-Gun, and a Stormbolter, a Relic Contemptor Dreadnought with a Dreadnought Close Combat Weapon, a Contemptor Chain Fist, and a pair of Stormbolters. I have a Relic Sicaran Battle Tank with its Accelerator Autocannon and no sponsons. Moving to Fast Attack, I have a squad of 10 Assault Marines with 2 Melt-A-Guns, and I have a squad of 3 Tarantula Sentry Guns, all of them outfitted with twin las cannons.
Those don't look like las cannons.
Just imagine harder. And finally, in the flyer slot, I have a Stormraven gunship with twin las cannon on top, twin multi-melta on the front, and hurricane bolters. 4 command points total, a bit of a deficit, but I think it's worth it to not have to take any troops.
This episode is sponsored by White Elf Painting. To see more of their fantastic commission work or to get a quote, head over to their Facebook page at White Elf Painting. For this game we will be playing a modified ITC Scenario 1. Scenario 1 has an Eternal War mission, Retrieval, with 4 objectives and an ITC Maelstrom mission. At the end of the game, both missions are going to be worth 8 points for success or 4 points for a tie. There are also 3 bonus objectives, Big Game Hunter, Linebreaker, and Slay the Warlord. At the end of the game, each bonus objective is worth 1 point. We modified the scenario to count both deployment zone objectives as Maelstrom 1, making the 2 objectives in the middle of the board Objective 2. So the deployment type is Dawn of War. You won the role to place your objective first.
I did. I placed it in the ruin.
And then you won the role to deploy first.
I won that one as well.
And
that's one thing I'm good at.
Your tarantulas.
Yes, my tarantulas are hiding out in the ruin.
And then I deployed my first unit Earthshakers at the back. I'm just trying to figure out how to fit them on exactly.
That doesn't look like they're shooting straight, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, 8th edition, they can shoot from anywhere. Yeah, you don't have too much of your deployment to go.
Just the Sicaran, the Stormraven, and then I placed the Contemptor Dreadnought in the Ruin, and I'm done. 4 models, that's it.
Yeah. The terrain on my side of the board, it looks a little fishy. It's almost as if it's like designed to fit my army.
It's a little strange, but They're just cozy.
I had some trouble fitting my vultures on the board, so I ended up doing wobbly model to get the second vulture up on the second level of Ruin, but it is fine. Then I started to just place out my screen, the good old 2 units of conscripts, to just eat up more of that board real estate to hopefully deny you the ability of dropping in my deployment zone.
Yep, it was effective. You cut me off of a few avenues that I thought about pursuing. Go figures, right?
Yeah, guard have a lot of bodies. So we rolled to go first, and of course, you won again.
Yeah, 3 for 3.
So then we rolled for the Maelstrom,
Yep.
and you rolled 1 for hold objective 1 and 4 to kill something.
I like those kill objectives. They're the straightforward ones.
Yeah, especially with an elite army like yours.
Yeah. So I advanced the Contemptor up behind the rock. That rock is a lot taller than it looks in the video. To try and protect myself as much as possible. Moved up the Storm Raven. The Sicaran just sat where it was, and now I'm deep striking.
Yeah, so this is Dante, his boys, Sanguinary Priest.
The Sanguinary Priest, the Sanguinary Guard Ancient, and the unit of Sanguinary Guard themselves. Briefly considered putting the Assault Squad in the back line, but then I realized the Conscript blob was placed correctly.
Yeah.
So I had to go for the frontal assault option.
I was successful in denying him getting in there.
Yes, you were.
I still feel like I need more conscripts, though.
No more. What was this? 40? 40 was plenty.
Yeah. So you started with the Storm Raven into the Avenger and you stripped a few wounds.
Nothing too exciting.
So this was your assault squads into that Vulture, I think, and then I got a little cocky and used my command point reroll to no effect.
Well, that's what they're there for. To use.
And then, there's a few more shots. That was the plasma guns out of the Sanguinary Guard into the Vendetta, stripped it down a few. And then, oh boy, Storm Raven.
Mowing down some conscripts, stripping some wounds.
Those things are a beast. I love Storm Ravens.
Yeah.
They do a fantastic amount of damage.
Most of my lists are going to have one in it for sure. They definitely seem like it.
So here's my Overwatch from the Vulture at the Assault Squad. I was just putting away just one.
1 or 2.
And then, we're just dealing with this over here. So my screen wasn't as effective as I liked. I did hang out the Vendetta there a bit too much, and you rolled some good charges, got in there.
Dante and the Sanguinary Guard got in, but the Priest and the Ancient did not.
Left hanging in the wind.
Unfortunately, I was really hoping to get that extra movement done. But it was a bit ambitious to expect all 4 squads to get in there.
I mean, you were rolling quite good up to this point, though. But yeah, you managed to get it down. Not enough, though. I think I was down to like 2 or 3 wounds.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to kill it.
So I rolled my Maelstrom, so I need to hold on to my objective 1, which is half my army sitting on it, and kill something. So my Vendetta's got my command squad with the 4 plasma guns, and it can essentially parachute deploy them in, but they still have to be 9 inches away, so I had to figure out how to do that. And I did do a little bit of a misplay here. I did an illegal move.
Yeah.
Breaking the
red
rules.
Card.
Red card.
Red card.
Celestine used her Act of Faith to effectively move twice, but she should have moved immediately at the beginning of the turn instead of the Vendetta. My Vultures just moved out, and then I pushed my Bubble Wrap out, really just giving myself some room to breathe. I find that an issue. I tend to I almost trap myself.
Yeah.
But I managed to disembark the infantry squad to line up some shots on the Contemptor and the Assault Squad. So my Eversor came in on the back line. Crazy Eddie.
He's coming after my tarantulas.
Your tarantulas. Little did I know that tarantulas can't be locked in combat.
Yeah, they just shoot as if they weren't engaged at all times. Which I guess makes sense. They can't fight back in melee, so they get to do something instead of just sitting there.
Yeah. So I used a command point reroll to save my plasma. I hit with a lot, but then I only wounded with 3, or 2 of them actually, and I used a command point reroll on Dante.
On his invuln save.
So I did not kill Dante. I really needed to make that happen. As you can see, Celestine is just hanging out there.
Yeah, she's going in for the kill.
Yep.
We'll see how it turns out.
So this is one of my vultures going into that assault squad. Really just need to thin them out some more. You lost 3 there.
Yeah, the vultures really put out a lot of bullets, but I was quite surprised at how few models actually died from it. I figured each one would just wipe out a marine squad.
Yeah, I mean, even the math says it's not that great, but I was below average with them so far. So really, I'm just taking a few more pot shots, trying to strip as many wounds as I can off that Contemptor.
Got it down to exactly half.
Yeah.
That turn, which was great. One more and it would have been down to brackets.
Yeah, and then here I am lining up the las cannons from the Avenger across at the Contemptor because I wasn't happy with that. But you did have +1 to your save from the cover, so you managed to save both those las cannon shots.
Which is very lucky.
And then the Avenger Gatling cannon went into the Ancient, but failed to kill him. So here I am with the Earthshakers just trying to plink some things away. And actually that was shots from Crazy Eddie. His pistol.
Yep. Yeah, his pistol into the tarantulas, I think, took a wound or 2 away. They're fairly durable, if nothing else.
Yeah, and they're fairly inexpensive for what they do.
I'm not sure if I'd use them again. 60 points each was a little steep, but we'll see. I might give them another chance.
Yeah, so here I am just lining up some assaults here. So I'm doing the command squad into Dante. They make it. And then I'm going to aggressively assault Celestine into this unit, but I forgot about the 5 plasma pistols overcharging, rerolling to hit.
So they were able to get rid of the Geminae before they were in combat, which was really, really good.
Yeah, I really needed all those power swords. As you can see, I only killed 2 of them, and Dante's sitting right next to me.
And he loves attacking really expensive characters. That's what he's built for. So
yeah, it was a big oops on my part. Again, I really hoped that those plasma guns were going to be enough to eliminate Dante.
That's a whole pile of wounds onto Celestine.
I was hoping to make those 4-up invulns, but I used a command point to save her last wound. I failed it, but thankfully I made my 2-up save so that she'd stay alive and go into reserves. So turn 2, you scored both your Maelstrom points.
I did. They were pretty easy for the first turn. So
yeah, Maelstrom are generally easier at the beginning of the game. So your new ones are to get a unit within 12 of mine, which you already do, and kill something, both which you like to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right in your face with a chainsword. That's where I like to be.
You savage.
It's actually one of the things I really wish the Imperium index reflected more on was combat prowess. We get no advantages in combat anymore.
One day
our codex comes out.
One day.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, so your Dreadnought got out of the Storm Raven here.
Yeah, we hovered the Storm Raven. The Dreadnought disembarked. He's ready to mulch some conscripts. And then we're shooting the Sicaran into the Vendetta,
and
with his anti-air autocannon,
and I picked it up.
Spectacularly.
I picked it up. It did its job well. Yep. The Vendetta did practically nothing this game.
Yeah, it really didn't do much. It was a bullet magnet, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
Attracted some fire.
It's those 6 las cannons. They always attract more fire than anything.
They're pretty scary.
Yeah. So here you're starting to thin out that screen.
And ever so slightly.
Yeah, and
bit
then
by bit.
Your las cannon's going back from that Storm Raven into the Avenger, plinking off some more wounds. There's a lot of pressure on my lines right now. Like you've got Assault Squad, the Contemptor, the Dreadnought, Sanguinary Guard. Everything's breathing down my neck.
Yeah, I always find my personal flavor of tactics is to put as much pressure as possible and see if I can make my opponent buckle. Unfortunately, Sean is better at Warhammer than me, so he is impervious to my mind games. But that's the way I like to play.
That's right.
Fast and aggressive.
You should play orcs. That's Arliss's job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just doing my best to survive this. So you made it into assault with the 3 units.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both dreadnoughts and the assault squad.
It's funny, is you did make it in with the Sanguinary Guard, but you attacked first with the dreadnought, and I peeled them away, forcing them to consolidate towards them. So I'm really just trying to figure out how many attacks to do with my infantry into the assault squad. And then my hopeless assault with the dreadnought. And they're out of range of Yarrick now, so I'm not able to use his morale manipulation, so it wipes them. And then
I consolidate up through a window to grab onto that Wyvern.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a rules debate on that, but we agreed that you should be able to attack because you are within 1 inch.
Yep. Can't move through the wall, but I was technically within an inch after consolidation, and I had visual contact, so we called that as engaged.
Yeah. So it's my turn. I'm really just trying to counter a lot of the pressure that's been put on my lines. Again, I don't have too many moving pieces in this army. The flyers are zipping around. I've got Crazy Eddie on that back objective fighting the artillery. So Celestine comes back in this turn. This is her. She can't come back again. And I'm really just placing her so I have options here. So if I fail to kill the Contemptor, she's got to go back and kill it. And if I fail to kill the if I do successfully kill the Contemptor, I'll put her into the back line and finish off that artillery, helping out Eddie there.
Yeah, it was taking him a while to chew through the Tarantula's wings. even with his power sword and many attacks.
Yeah, 6 base, 8 on the charge.
Yeah, wow. Toughness 5 with 4 wounds. Or something. Maybe the other way around. 3 up save. They're pretty tough.
Yeah.
Tarantulas.
Yeah. So I'm taking some more pot shots at this Contemptor. I end up failing to kill it with lasgun fire. So I have to shoot the Chimera and then eventually an Earthshaker into it. I can't have so many things in my face, so I use a command point reroll just so I could get more shots off at it. Let's see. Still working hard for it though. He's a tough guy. I really like Contemptors. So yeah, it was actually I had to shoot 2 Earthshakers at it to finish off his last few wounds.
But it was enough.
Yeah.
He's off the table, and that's one of my more important pieces. I would have much rather the Death Company Dreadnought be killed than the Contemptor. But beggars can't be choosers. At least I had one still alive.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to shoot the vultures and fire as much as I can. I got 1 Wyvern into the Sanguinary Guard, and then a vulture into the Sanguinary Guard. And of course, you just make your 2 up saves.
That's why I love them.
Yeah.
Flying Terminators. It's tough to leave home without.
Yeah, lack of an invuln doesn't really matter in this edition.
Nope, not as much. Now that they have 2 wounds, and Sanguinary Priests being fairly cheap and can resurrect them, I really don't feel the...
So something I gotta call out though. I made an illegal command point reroll. So I forgot I had already used one in this shooting phase, and I used it again for a wound on the Earthshaker to finish off their last Sanguinary Guard.
Neither of us had noticed in the game. So.
Yeah. It wasn't until afterwards that I picked up on it. So Crazy Eddie managed to kill... do 2 wounds, and then Celestine came in and cleaned up the rest of the artillery. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to place her in there so she's on the ruin. And her base and that, like, she's up on those ribbons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a tight squeeze for her in that little ruin.
Pain in the butt. So then your Death Company just started to just churn through that Wyvern, but I only lost 4 wounds. So turn 3, still neck and neck on the Maelstrom. Relatively. Yeah. You are peeling away a little bit.
But I'm very quickly running out of models.
Yeah, it
so
gets a lot harder.
I have to be very careful. The Maelstrom's getting harder and harder to succeed with.
Yeah, you're really hoping for those kills.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're super easy for me. All of the models I have left are very powerful, but I don't have a lot of bodies on the boots on the ground, so to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to hold objectives.
You rolled all 5s and 6s there. poor Conscripts, man. Again, those Hurricane Bolters on that Storm Raven are
They are so cheap.
They are fierce.
So cheap. It's impossible to not take them anymore with the ease of wounds.
And then you put the multi-meltas into my Vulture.
With melta range, finished it off.
Just so good. They are so good.
And then the Sanguinary Guard have charged into that flyer.
And Dante.
And
the Sanguinary Priest.
And the Sanguinary Priest.
It was a party. Unfortunately, I failed to do any wounds in Overwatch.
I do like that jump units have fly, so they can assault flyers. It's not always incredibly effective, but it is very fun.
Yeah, it's...
So the Death Company Dreadnought finished off that Wyvern. He's looking how he can consolidate. Can't quite fit through that gap, so we'll just sidle up to that Earthshaker and see if he wants to rumble.
Couldn't squeeze on through.
No. It was maybe 3/4 of an inch too narrow.
So
just barely.
I've got Celestine in the back corner, and I'm really wondering if I should jump her out to assault the Storm Raven. I'm not quite sure I can finish it off. So I throw her to the back line to kill the Sicaran, and then I jump the Avenger out with the duty of stripping some wounds off that Storm Raven. My Vulture peels away, and now I've got a free line of sight at the Sanguinary Priest at the back.
Yeah, he was the closest.
So my backline's in jeopardy, but I'm still fairly confident just with how many models I've got, and I'm still zooming around.
Yeah, I was starting to sweat a little bit, getting nervous about how few models I had left.
So there, I'm getting a few wounds off, but not nearly enough. Then I've got the Punisher going into the Sanguinary Priest. And I mean, you made all but... Yeah, so he has 4 wounds, so you failed 3 and he's down to 1 now. It's too bad, almost got him.
I think I had failed to use his, I'd forgotten to use his Narthekium ability a few times in this game as well.
Yeah.
There's a turn here and there where I forgot to heal. So I might have even had a few more wounds on those guys at this point.
That Overwatch.
Yeah, the Sicaran Overwatch, I think I rolled 4 6s.
It was brutal. I lost my Geminae, and I lost 4 wounds off Celestine.
Mm-hmm. But she was still alive, which is the most important thing. She took the Sicaran all the way down to exactly 1 wound.
1 wound. Ugh. And I had no command points left to reroll.
The Dreadnought finishes up the Earthshaker, consolidates into another one.
So turn 4, like it's 5-3 on the Maelstrom. Mm-hmm. You've got the lead there. Your new ones are kill and kill.
Yeah,
so it's looking good.
I'm feeling pretty good about this turn. I had made some room in the back line. I had Celestine in the Storm Raven sights. It was looking not too bad.
Yeah, I think I'm really starting to sweat it here because like Dante, the Ancient, and the Priest are in the back. The Dreadnought is just chewing through my artillery sitting in my parking lot.
Yeah, your little castle of tanks.
Yeah, it just ended up.
It was an effective formation until they all got cornered because they couldn't move through the walls.
It's quite pretty. It was very symmetrical.
Yeah, it was. Very, very pleasing on the eyes.
So look at all those 1s and 2s.
So the Storm Ravens perched up on the ruin, and it just shot some anti-tank weaponry at Celestine, and that turned out to be enough to finish her off.
Chewed her up pretty bad.
Finish her off for good.
And yeah, she's not coming back. Starting to feel it. The pressure in that back line is just scary, and my Warlord Yarrick is also there. So I mean, I'm really feeling it. But you killed that Earthshaker.
Yep.
And it exploded.
It's blowing up. It's going to definitely take a toll. There goes the Sanguinary Priest. Dante's down to, I think, 2 wounds. I think the Dreadnought lost 1.
Yeah. Yarrick lost 3. He took 3 off the Wyvern. Commander lost 2. so that was more effective for me. I accepted that. Mm-hmm. I usually use my command point rerolls in order to even make things explode.
Mm-hmm. It's very effective if it's in an advantageous spot. A vehicle explosion can be absolutely devastating.
Yeah. So as my turn, I'm gotta hold an objective 2 and kill something. This is actually interesting. This is the first time one of us is holding a 2. Mm-hmm. So I have enough units, unlike yourself.
Yeah.
To play the Maelstrom game.
I'm down to 4 models at this point.
Yeah. They're tough though.
Mm-hmm.
So there, I'm just using that Chimera and then advancing the infantry squad to double up on it, just in case that Storm Raven comes peeling around. I pull my Wyvern out from the assault, just so that I have an opportunity to engage your elite units at range. Except Yarrick, poor old man Yarrick's left alone, but he's fine. He's got this.
He's very tough. It's easy to underestimate Yarrick, but even Dante's a little scared of him in combat. If Yarrick gets the charge, that Power Claw will do a lot of damage.
So my Vulture, I shot all my shots remaining into your Sikaran. Mm-hmm. Finished off that last wound. Yarrick charged in like a beast. The Conscripts charged through the wall to tie up. And now I'm just really trying to put enough bodies on that objective to deny Butters the Maelstrom point, as well as the opportunity, potentially, at the end of the game to hold on to that objective.
Yeah, I was starting to remember about the primary, but I lose track of the primary a lot when playing ITC scenarios. So.
And a few adult beverages don't help either.
Yeah. It doesn't help at all.
So we're exchanging a lot of blows here. And Yarrick, he did die, but then he made his 3 up to come back and stood back up.
So now I've got hold and hold, which is just the worst thing I could have seen.
Yeah.
I did not want to try and do this, but
no option.
Nothing else to it.
So the Storm Raven peeled around to try and kill off.
To try and shoot you off that objective to deny you the Maelstrom point, because I knew it was going to be really hard to win the primary, so I had to win the secondary if I had a hope of winning. I thought perhaps I might be able to shoot you off the objective.
But those Hurricane Bolters, again, just unit gone.
Yeah, really good against infantry, but I wasn't able to finish off the Chimera.
It's unfortunate for the Blood Angels.
Very unfortunate for me.
So you used a command point reroll. That was a save.
One of Dante's invuln saves.
Yeah, Yarrick almost got you.
Well, I'm down to 2 wounds, right? So any wound that gets through could finish Dante off, and that would be certain doom.
So my new ones, so I scored both mine. So we're tied up on the Maelstrom. I got 3 and 5. So Line Breaker and kill something. So this is, now we're getting closer to the end of the game. So we're really starting to think of like, how do we play this out? How do we hold these objectives? I mean, I love the ITC missions because there is both the primary, well, they're not even primary and secondary anymore. They're just 2 missions.
Yeah.
The Eternal War and the Maelstrom. So again, I'm just trying to figure out how to just annoy you as much as I can.
Yeah, the ITC scenario adds a lot to the late game, whereas the base rulebook missions often by turn, even as early as turn 1 or 2, can be pretty much decided.
These
moment. Ones are not the case. We're fighting down to the very last bitter model.
Yeah. So as you can see, I pushed my Chimera and my Commander and pretty much every unit I had to be within 3 of that objective 1. Just to make it impossible, even if you do well in this assault phase, to hold that objective. Because I really want to peel away and get this. But
Dante finally did the deed. Yarrick didn't get up. Finally,
and no command point reroll to bring him back, unfortunately. So we rolled to see if the game ended. It did go on. You rolled that 6. So now you're thinking,
I gotta get you off that objective.
yeah. You're like, all right, there's
an Eversor in there. I should deal with that. So the Storm Raven, still in hover mode, just turns around, pokes his nose through the window. He's gonna dump a truly ungodly amount of bullets into that Eversor.
But man, that Eversor, he's got 6 wounds.
6 wounds to the 4-up invuln.
And if you roll like that,
Pretty durable.
he lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting frustrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Game's dragging on. I'm desperately trying to see a route to victory.
I mean, it's a nail biter. It's a nail biter. There's absolutely no, like, we had no idea who's going to take it at this point.
It's
Still neck and neck.
Four models against 3 models at this point. There's really not much left. It's a movement game now.
It was an absolute bloodbath.
Lots of measuring.
Yeah, so here I peel away. I put two models, my commander and the Chimera, on objective 2. I've got the Punisher lined up to shoot at the Storm Raven. Storm Raven's on the ground hovering now, so I actually get +1 to hit with my Vulture because it's on the ground. I get straight from front. So I managed to plink away a few wounds. I think I still only got it down to like 8 or 7 wounds.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there. And the game's continuing onto turn 7.
Yeah, so Dante jumps out.
Yeah, but the Dreadnought's stuck. What kept those tanks trapped against the wall is now fighting against me. I wasn't able to get him involved.
Yeah, those rune rules are really odd.
Yeah. Take a little bit of getting used to.
So again, yeah, here's Storm Raven, picked up the Eversor. So I no longer have anything holding that objective in your deployment zone. So what's interesting here is you split your...
Yeah, I split my attacks figuring 2 attacks would be enough to kill that commander, but wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough. I was able to secure the Maelstrom and then move off, and we tied on the primary.
Yep.
And then I had Linebreaker.
And I had Big Game Hunter and Slay the Warlord.
And Linebreaker.
And Linebreaker.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to Cariboo 40K.